Well, joining me now on the news to assess the worsening security situation across the country, including the recent abduction of schoolgirls in Kebbi State and the broader implications for national stability, is David Okoro. He's a security analyst and consultant for the Safe Schools Initiative. Thank you so much for being on the news tonight.
Thank you for having me.
We're seeing the condemnations pour following the kidnap of 25 schoolgirls in Kebbi State. But we've been down this road before, over a decade ago, and that resulted in the Safe School Initiative, the SSI. What has happened to that initiative?
Well, again, maybe I should start by expressing my condolence to the lives that were lost in Kebbi State.
Yeah.
And the girls that were taken. You know, unfortunately, their parents are not happy at this moment. But these kind of things are bound to happen. We have about 169 schools, 1,000 schools in
I said they are bound to happen. It makes it sound like it's normal for girls to be abducted.
No. I'm saying that in the circumstance that we find ourselves as a country, where the security forces, the structures to protect the schools are not there. We have about 168,000 schools that variously the right environment is not provided. And we have the activities of bandits and criminals. And so the bandits will definitely kidnap school children for the purpose of ransom. And the terrorists will kidnap school children because that way they will create exaggerated sense of insecurity. So it is in the interest of these criminals to create issues like this, right? But it is the responsibility of government to ensure that this does not happen. Incidentally, the structure to ensure that this does not happen is not there. Incidentally, you spoke about the Safe School Initiative.
Yes.
Yeah, there are two things. Safe School Initiative was the program that was started by Gordon Brown after the Chibok girls were taken. So globally, funding was provided to ensure that the girls that were kidnapped and other girls in the environment continue to go to school. And that was why some money was donated globally and was being used for Safe School Initiative.
The Nigerian government also included in that fund. The Senate today was calling for the probe of $30 million in all that was put down for that project.
Yeah, I know that probe has been on forever. It was probed and over, but what is on the table is the Safe School program of government. In 2021, there was a high-level meeting because Nigeria has become a laughingstock to the world. You can't protect your children. So in 2021, there was a high-level conference in Abuja that was supported and hosted by the federal government. At that high-level conference, where you had international community, the local NGOs, everybody that mattered, stakeholders, they came together, and part of the fallout of that meeting was a request that the Ministry of Finance should develop a costed plan on how Nigeria intends to protect its schools and the cost and all that. Thereafter, a committee was set up, an expert committee was set up. I was a member of that committee from the word go. So we developed a plan. Okay. Yes, we had people from the defense headquarters, we had people from the police, the DSS, civil defense and all that. And this plan was developed. This plan was launched in 2022 December. And thereafter, some money was put in the budget for 2023 to implement this, right? But that money was provided, the implementation started. But when this government came in, no more fund was provided. Everything you heard about the Safe School was the initial 16 billion that was provided. That money was shared to the various responsive agencies.
60 billion
16,
what? 16 billion?
16 billion.
What's currency?
Naira.
Yeah,
was provided.
On that, the Safe School program, which is totally different from the Safe School Initiative.
Yes.
Okay, so what exactly does this program entail? What was it supposed to do? What was it supposed to achieve? What was the component of it?
This program was Nigeria's plan to address issues of children being taken like this. So it was supposed to prevent, protect, and recover students if they were taken. That program was structured. They had a responsive system. We had what we call the infrastructure, the backbone infrastructure for Safe School. So in Abuja, for instance, we had a Safe School Response Center. When this particular abduction was taking place, if this program was implemented, there was going to have been an emergency call to the center, and troops would be sent. We had a system where at the federal level we had a response center that was supposed to be a civil defense. At the various state level we had response infrastructure up to local government level. This program was being implemented. Fund, like I said, was provided, but when this government came in, no more fund was provided. The second problem was that government during Buhari regime showed political will and interest to implement this. That was why they provided the initial 16 billion. The unit that superintended this program in the ministry was then supposed to go around other agencies, international communities, private sector to raise more money for this project. But that was never done. So when the funding that was provided by government was exhausted, then the program graded to a halt. But you will notice that while the program was on, we were involved in training police, training the military, training civil defense and vigilantes. All these people, I went to places like Sokoto, to the border communities, going to look at schools and the problem they have. We were supposed to be able to implement this scheme to address all that. But when this government came in, everything about funding for safe school ceased.
So yes, you're saying that lack of funding resulted in the non-implementation of this program.
Largely so. Largely
we should
so.
have prevented school abductions such as what we saw in Kebbi with 25 girls gone.
Yes.
Their whereabouts unknown and their vice principal killed.
Yes, because this plan globally was acclaimed as a plan that had the capacity to address issues of safe school. But the implementation has ceased because government did not provide funding to continue with this.
All right. When the Kebbi state government says, moving away from the program to say, when the Kebbi state government says that these bandits that carried out this abduction, according to them, likely moved from Zamfara to Kebbi state, what does that say about the collaboration between states, our borders, I mean, intra-state borders, and the response of our security agencies? You're a security consultant. Where are the lapses when dozens of children are being whisked away? And you wonder, how is that even done?
Under the safe school plan, we were supposed to have training the communities in those environments, because when you take children like this, you are going to pass through several communities to get to wherever you are going. So the question was, what happened? The communities were supposed to be trained and sensitized to ensure that when they see things like this, they can quickly alert the necessary government agency and response will come. So if this program was implemented, it will be difficult for this kind of abduction to have taken place. Number two, for why it lasted, there was no response. And number three, now to go after those who are taking these children to bring them back. But it was never implemented because part of this program was what we call the underpinning philosophy was what we call the whole society approach to school security. It means that the entire community, particularly the vigilantes, the farmers, the herders, everybody was supposed to be involved in protecting children under this.
I mean, so many questions left unanswered because from what you have just explained to us, it's very similar to the SSI, which is the Safe School Initiative. And one wonders why we replicate programs and not implement them.
No, it wasn't the same thing.
It was also to train community people, response time, rescue, and all of that, which is very similar to what you just told us.
This was an entire, look, defense headquarters was part of this, the police was, and indeed, when this was being implemented, everybody was being carried along. You could see the interest of all the community stakeholders. But like I said, this was
lack
stalled.
of funding.
It was stalled because the current government did not understand what this was all about, and they didn't put money behind it.
Okay, thank you so much, David Okoro, security analyst and consultant, Safe School Program. In just one word, how much was supposed to fund this to be practical and implemented?
Well, the program,
how much will make it work?
For the over the 4 years, the federal government was supposed to spend 144 billion.
Okay, all right.
And the international community and the community will support that, but only 16 billion was provided.
All right, thank you so much for your time. And we really do hope that these girls are brought back safely and soon to their families.